Ladies and gentlemen, On the Sofa with Esther has a special 3-part series in the run-up to Valentine's Day, in conversation with Cindy Jarrett, about conscious dating in an unconscious world. And on Monday the 13th of February, we are going to have a special interactive live session. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you've had a wonderful week. And we are now back with my very special guest, Cindy Jarrett. And Cindy Jarrett, just to remind you, I did my first session with her. We were talking about conscious dating in an unconscious world. And this is a 4-part series where we are going to be talking about conscious dating. And we've got 4 segments. The first one was, what is conscious dating? Today, we're going to be talking about beliefs. And part 3 is called self-love, clearing the heart for loving. Clearly, and that's going to be really, really interesting. And part 4 is practices of vetting a potential partner. Now that should be interesting. So before we go any further, I want to introduce Cindy. Now, Cindy is a mystic, teacher, horse listener, writer, author, and artist. She is the owner of Designing Access Consulting, teaching conscious relationship practices for 35 years. Cindy is a shamanic practitioner, bringing healing ceremonies to her clients since 1994. She is also the owner of HorseJourneys, partnering with horses for emotional and spiritual awareness. And Cindy's also got a book out called Path of the Golden Heart, Conscious Dating in an Unconscious World. And that is where, we explore conscious dating. And it's a wonderful book of knowledge, guidance, questions, understanding, clarity, all those wonderful things. So as we go through these sessions, Cindy's going to be dipping into that book to give you an insight into what you can take away once you make a purchase. But also the bigger thing is about understanding how to date consciously, lovingly, and authentically. So welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
A pleasure, a pleasure. And why I love talking to this lady, ladies and gents, not only is she a dear friend of many years, but also she walks her talk, and we've done some work together. And, I've seen and heard so much about the work that she's done as well. And one thing I'd like to ask you before we move into talking about beliefs, just share with us your connection with horses, though, because that's a huge part of your healing world. And I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that. So do you mind just sharing a bit about your work with horses?
Yeah. Well, when I graduated from college, I got my first horse. I've loved horses since I drew breath, and have always felt an affinity. I am Year of the Horse in the Chinese astrology calendar. And I didn't really know that they had this particular way of partnering in emotional and spiritual development and healing. And I did a training down in Tucson in 2003 to 4, a year-long training apprentice. And I learned about how you can do different exercises on the ground. It's not an equestrian riding effort, although that you could do some riding exercises, but it's mostly the partnering, the relationship, and how horses mirror back so elegantly in body language and demeanor and energetic what's going on with us. And so they're excellent teachers to help us connect to our authentic self, our authentic feelings, to really connect up with the goodness of who we are and our spiritual connectivity. And so I got my first horse when I was 24, and then I got a second horse I got a mare for him. And I didn't really even know about that intuitive descriptives, but I had exactly that experience with my horses. And when I read some books on equine facilitation, I went, oh my God, I was doing this naturally and
absolutely
organically. And so then to study it, and then now I have an amazing teaching horse. He's a Frisian, and we're just really good partners in that work. And
Mm.
I've had him 15 years now. So it's,
Wow.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that, because I know in our previous session we touched a bit on horses and stuff. So I just thought it would be nice for you to elaborate on that. And I totally get where you're at, because I've had that experience with horses, and it was only when I went on a course and he goes, "You were very deeply connecting," and the experience was so incredible. Um, and you
yeah,
know, it was incredible, because like you said, they mirror you, but also they're very powerful and sentient beings, and you can feel that power. Um, so yes, thank you very much for sharing.
yeah.
So,
Well, they're all about relationship. I'll just add that they're a herd animal. They depend
mm,
on intercommunication and workability inside the herd, and who's got what job, uh, in a herd life. And we're herd animals too. I mean, we are.
yeah, yes.
We need community, and so they have a lot to teach us
Mm,
about
be
being
interesting.
in relationship.
Well, we probably have to do a segment on that, I think, because it's something that I'm sure a lot of people don't realize. But moving forward, this particular segment is about beliefs and how those, how those beliefs frame our world, how they frame our perception. Um, and I remember I'm sure someone said a belief isn't a reality, it's just a belief, because so we're gonna, I'm gonna ask you to deep dive into this segment now, and how that correlates to our relationships and the beliefs about, as you said, what we feel we can have in those relationships. So over
Well,
to you, Cindy.
thank you. Thank you. Well, why beliefs are so important in particularly the conscious dating context is because our beliefs create our reality. It is the foundation of all that we create. You look around your reality and you look at all the parts of your life, and you will see your beliefs in action. They are like magnets. If you don't think you're worthy, if you don't think you're good enough, if you question your value or your worth, if you have negative thoughts about the object of your love, so whether it's gay or straight relationships, your persons that you are attracted to, if you have negative thoughts and beliefs about, one of the greatest things that, or the common things that women can say about men is, all the good ones are married or they're gay.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
you believe that, then you won't believe that there is a single man available that has all the wants and needs and preferences that you desire in relationship.
Mm,
And you will not create the relationship of your heart's desire. So beliefs are important. And I like to teach people about a process I call the success cube. I've learned this from my spiritual teacher. And basically, it's the base of the cube is beliefs, and the sides of the cubes are your thoughts and your feelings. And then you cap it off with an attitude. So if
mm,
this influences our results, our life experiences, our outcomes, how our relationships are, the impact that you feel and or you give out into the world, our successes, our failures.
mm,
So if you aren't succeeding in your dating process, you come to your success cubes and you start with your belief work. And so that's why I felt it was important in these different segments here for Esther's show, then it's because you want to have beliefs that are supporting what you are creating, what you are drawing into, your life. And if they're negative, they're not going to serve you. So it's important to understand it's first important to understand the power that they hold, that beliefs create reality. And your reality right now is a structure and a reflection of your belief structure. So if you don't believe, that it's possible, then, you could be, someone, at work You know, your beloved could be sitting next to you. It could be someone who's on the train ride to work every day. It could be, you know, a good friend, you know, one of your close friends in your friends, you know, circle of friends. But they can't reach you because you're energetically, it's kind of like you're holding out, you know, arm's length, keeping love at arm's length. If you don't believe you deserve it, you will draw to you partners who will reinforce your undeservability. And that's why I speak of floor relationships. They reflect back a lot of times where we're at.
In
And,
ourselves, yes. And
and
then that's why, you know, the more that I talk to you, Cindy, is the more that I realize how important the role that you play, or those who are conscious play in being able to bring awareness of, because a lot of people aren't aware of these things. And, you know, being able to be in a place where you've got someone around you that can help walk you through things like that, so that you can see. And before we move any further, so a lot of people would probably say, okay, well, this is what I'm having, but where do I go? Because also, you know, there's so many different practitioners and modalities out there. How would someone navigate where to go to if they really feel stuck? What is it that you would suggest they look for if they're looking for help with, you know, just for help on an emotional level with beliefs and stuff?
yeah, well, so that in the book there, I put that whole process. There's a whole chapter on belief work
Okay.
and how to how you walk yourself through the dismantling it. And it starts first with calling forth what are your negative hidden beliefs in love,
Mm,
being love, the object of your love. So if you want men or women, and you know, relationship, commitment, partnership, marriage, any of those categories could be harboring a negative belief. And the whole process that I teach people in individual sessions.
mm,
So some people could work with me on that if they want to do a conscious dating project, and or the training is in the full training is in the book. If you're good with self-direction, you just take yourself through the workbook.
mm.
And so then people would be able to work it that way. The thing I do find, unfortunately, in the therapy models is that a lot of therapists don't do a lot of addressing around beliefs and then also rewiring. How do you reprogram the
Excellent.
positive beliefs in you so that the negative beliefs that don't serve you any longer can, you know, the volume can go down on those and they can go away, because you're leading in with the beliefs you want to be believing and how you want to be creating your life. And so we inherit our beliefs through our primary caretakers, our teachers, social media influences. It gets reinforced, and our life experiences in terms
Absolutely.
of some of
Yes.
our pain experiences, because pain is a distorter, can really shape us and bend us and you know, put us in a distortion of, you know, what we now believe. If we've been really hurt, then a lot of people, and this happens a lot with men culturally, because men are so much groomed still culturally to not feel their feelings.
Yes. And not to express.
Cut off,
Yes.
you know, one big part of who you are, you know, for a long, long time, and you get hurt in a relationship. A lot of men that I've worked with have ended up with I ain't gonna go there again. I'm not gonna love again like that ever again. And this is from teenage time. They've been
Mm,
scorned or they've been betrayed, or, you know, in an immature relationship. And I have to let them know you're creating a mature relationship with love now, with a mature woman or man. And that's different. And so we have to heal this broken heart to
mm.
to love with an open, broken heart. And
Wow.
so belief work is a part of that, because we have to extract that taproot that's keeping love at arm's length, because you
Mm,
said, never again, I'm not going to go there. And yet men very much want relationship
they
and
do. Yes.
want to be related. But if they're cut off from their hearts, it makes it very, very difficult. And usually that is an indication. So if you're dating a man that's cut off from his heart, he probably has a negative belief associated with love. He's blaming love or what happened inside of a love relationship with an immature person. And when they get that distinction, like, yeah, I'm an adult now, I don't want that to dictate how my life moves forward in love. And it's so wonderful to work with men to connect up. And I like to bust the myth that men don't feel. That's not the case. They absolutely do. They just don't necessarily go there or give themselves permission to explore it or reveal it. But
excellent. That's key. You've said something key. What we're going to do, ladies and gents, we're going to take a short break, and on the way back, or with the way back in, well, whichever way you want to come back. You know what I mean.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. That's right. We're going to expand on that, because that is so key. On the Sofa with Esther, in the series Men Supporting Men, on the last Wednesday of every month at 8 o'clock GMT, is now sponsored by Father to Father, turning the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers. Just to die. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before the break, we were talking about beliefs and also men, and a lot of men and their process. So, Cindy, if you'd like to continue from where we left off.
Yeah, so the whole myth around men don't feel, and a lot of women accuse men of that because they're not necessarily expressing it, and they haven't been encouraged to look, number one, and then come out with them. So our role with men really is, to make it safe for them to go and do their heart work. And we can't do it, women, when women are unhappy, they get critical. If you're critical or have been really critical in a relationship, it's usually due to unhappiness. And that can be, cross gender. But a lot of times women get unhappy, and then they get, angry, and then they get complaining. And they don't know how to co-design a relationship with a man. And one of the things that's very, very important is to make it safe for a man to come out of the cave and to go into their heart, their upper heart. And see, we engage sexually from our upper heart, and then we can go, you can have my lower heart. And then men want to go, I want to get in that lower heart, and then I'll give you and show you my upper heart. And you can see why the sexual relationship with men and women can go, we're not necessarily connecting, because no, you gotta reach for me through, through my heart. And but we have two hearts. We have an upper and a lower heart.
And what's the difference? What's the difference? Do you mind explaining what the difference in those are?
Yeah. So the upper heart obviously is the emotional heart, the deep feeling emotions, the connectivities, being relationship centered, being wanting to communicate. This is, we have our head and our heart, and this is the diamond that's in between, those two entities. And the head is very different from the heart. But what's is what we perceive, what we hear and interpret, and what we communicate. So that we have this communication center here, and we need to master this to have a balance of head and heart in relationship. And that goes for women too. And that's another myth that I like to bust, which is just because women are feeling and emotional doesn't mean they are being responsible with those emotions. So men feel they need to be in safe environments to come out and do their heart exploration work. And women need to have a patience they don't think they possess to be able to create that safety environment for men to come out. And men need to learn you must reach a woman, in the upper heart. You need to, communication is the elixir, to the upper heart. The lower heart,
authentic as well, being authentic as you can be. And just keep working towards authenticity, because it's almost like communication and authenticity, they're an integrity, they're like the bedrock, you know, the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
And I feel like truth is on the chopping block right now. And yes, in its exaggeration on the political theater, but that's trickling down, and we're seeing, you know, what happened in America and how that influenced, you know, other countries and cultures to be brazen, to be out there, to be racist, to be inappropriate, to be threatening, to violence. You know, any other country that says their country, you know, let's make it great again, you know, they're modeling what happened here in America. So the thing is, you know, truth is, for me, you know, and I really want people to hear this: lead with truth, finding the truth for yourself of what it is you want and need, gotta have, what your deal breakers are, and what your partner, your potential partners, you know, authentic, viable partners, what they want, need, prefer, and is it a match? And to be I just lost my thought, sorry. But this is important about what was I saying?
You're talking about to be authentic. It's about, you know, to really lead with truth.
Yeah, thank you. Let yourself lead with truth in that truth finding process, and finding the truth of what's really there. Because with truth, with a capital T, you will have love. But if you are always going for the love, that may not be truthful, it may not be grounded, it may not be viable. You know, if you're just looking, you know, love me, I want to love you, love me, I want to love you. And love is wonderful. It heals all things. It is vast and endless. It brings us back to relationship and why we are with certain people that we are with.
But is there something about with truth and this, you know, a lot of people sometimes struggle with truth because to them it's being vulnerable, because when you're being honest, a lot of people fear that honesty is going to be used and abused, and so it's hard for people to really open up.
Yeah, and this is where your self-love practices will start to kick in, and your self-confidence, and your telling the truth, telling your truth to yourself. Because if you've told it to yourself, you know, you can be vulnerable with it. You can say, I want to get married. You know, I really love you. You know, I want to have a life with you. Or I think we're really a great match. Where are you at? Are you feeling that? Are you ready to, you know, go to the next level of conscious dating? The first part of dating is just, you know, is there some alignment? Is it looking like there's a bit of a match? And you're doing your vetting, you're asking you know, going through the questionnaires. There's different questionnaires and stuff in the book to review. And you can just, you know, you're at that stage. And then the next stage of dating, in conscious dating, is we commit to exclusively date. We're not going to let in anybody else if you want monogamy. And, you know, are we really right for each other? So then you take it a deeper cut. And in the 6 to 9 month mark of someone being together and dating, that's when the real stuff, our, you know, limiting shadow can show up in that time frame. And, you know, because we let down our hair, we relax, we're getting comfortable, and you start seeing some of the red flags. You start seeing some of the personality drives. You start seeing some of the wounding possibly coming out. And that's all stuff to discuss, to have conversations about.
And there's no judgment as well, you know, because what I'm also sensing is when you're in that conscious place together, then you realize it's not a judgment, it's just an awareness and a revelation, but then you can do something about it and work towards it. You know, I also give the equation of having a car, especially with guys. You know, so you buy a car, you buy a brand new car, it's a Porsche. You want to look after it. But if you don't look after it, what happens? Because sometimes people don't, when I'm talking, they might not understand the relevance even to go this deep in terms of a relationship. But if you put it, say, in a car, or maybe for a woman with her nails, then they might get it, because it's all about looking after. It's about cherishing something. So what do you do when you cherish something? You clean it, you nurture it. And so this is a really great conversation. And we've got a few minutes left around this session on beliefs. So what else and what I do like, so I'm back and forth a bit, but what I do like about the book is that people could take up your book and they could work through it on their own, which is really, really powerful. And
yeah, that's why I wrote it, so it could reach more people than just, working one-on-one. Because usually when I work with people in this project, it's a minimum of a 9-month commitment for the training, and sometimes it can go up to 18 months. It just depends on your history and what kind of heart cleaning you need to do to get ready, because conscious dating is about preparing for being a beloved. And that's not necessarily what conscious or what the dating world focuses on.
yes,
It's just the acquisition of a person, and not about, well, who do you need to be being a beloved? Not to so much earn it, but there is an earning aspect. Love is given, trust is given, and then we earn love and trust over time in our consistency. But you said something important, and a want and a need that I make sure all my clients include in their list of traits and qualities they are drawing to them. And that is that their partner is willing to work out issues to completion, no matter how long it takes. And that's why I married my husband, because that was a core piece. I wanted to know that anything that came up, we were going to work it out to completion, not just sort of, well, we've talked about that. Oh, we already had that conversation. Well, that's your issue. You go handle it. Those are the kinds of things people have dealt with. And it's like, no, this is our issue. And if it's not complete with one of you, it ain't complete with both of you.
Yes.
You need both people to be complete. And so, so, in terms of belief, it's important to rewrite them. So you have to first figure out what are the negative beliefs that don't serve you any longer. And there's a process that, calls that up. And once you have that, then you rewrite that into now positive languaging. And usually, like, if you come to the truth that I don't feel worthy of being loved, if you really tell that core baseline truth, going, yeah, I've been operating that I'm not worthy. Okay, you can't just take a new belief, go, I am worthy of love.
Yes.
I am worthy of being loved. You don't believe that.
Yes.
You have to stepstone it to, and it's in positive languaging, of course, now languaging. And I like the I am statement because you're creating an I amness, energetic. And so I got to talk about resonance too. So
you can do that. Can we do that in the self-love section, the resonance? Or does it fit into this more? So
it fits a lot.
Okay, well, free flow. And also what I'd like to do as well, I mean, I know I initially said this is a 4-part series, but I've already got ideas to add a couple more on at some point, because it would be nice to get some people on where we can go through a practice process as well. I think that would be so invaluable, because every time I'm connecting with you, I've got more ideas, and there's an awareness about something that I thought, oh, that would be handy. So we'll have to add another segment onto this, but continue, my dear, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. We're in a dance, we're dancing. So
resonance.
Well, before that, I wanted to the thing about completion. Process. That's what I wanted to do, is about the process of how so first you get the negative belief, and then you rewrite it. And you can't just go to the promised land mountaintop right away. You got to stair step it a little bit into believable bits, and then you work it. So for if I'm not worthy, and I really have to tell the truth, I've been operating on that premise and belief structure, and it's been reinforced in my relationships because that's what I'm holding, which tags teams with resonance. If whatever you're holding is what you will create, and that's the power of energetic resonance. And we create through resonant causation. And so whatever energetic you are holding about anything, so your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and attitudes are operating all the time and drawing to you and showing you yourself, reflecting back to you yourself in that area.
Ooh.
So a stair step belief could be, I am bringing self-love, I'm bringing higher self-love in. So, because you bring in higher self-love and you're going to reach, I am worthy. That'll be a nice stepping stone. And beliefs they can be like affirmations that are already out there and written, but I like people to use their own languaging, where it zings for you. And it's like a mantra. It's short. It's not 3 paragraphs long. It's mantric like. It's I am, loved and cared for wherever I go, whoever I know. So that's a statement that you can throw out there, and then you have better community experiences with something like that. Wherever I go, whoever I know loves and cares for me, and I care for them. And that's a resonance, and you feel it when it really is the right wording for you. So that's important. And resonance is what we create from. What is the energetic that we're holding? And our beliefs hold resonance. Our thoughts and our feelings back up our, how we've been believing, and our attitudes. And your attitudes, your negative ones, they're the ones that, yeah, sure, in your dreams, pal. The stuff that sort of slips out the corner of your mouth. You have a sour attitude. Oh, well,
Yes.
he'll never go for me, or she's a handful.
Mm.
There
Okay.
you can see, the secret hidden negative beliefs that aren't serving you any longer. And the cool news is we can rewire our beliefs. And you just need to know you've got to do a thorough job until it's yours to own, the new belief that you really believe you are worthy, that you really believe that this is possible, that there is a man or a woman out there that can love you in the manner that you desire. And
Fantastic.
we have to prepare to be a beloved. You have to understand how to prepare, and that'll tag team in the next segment.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And we are going to do a session. We've got to do a practical session around beliefs and resonance, getting people to actually go through a practice about this. And so we'll definitely set that up. So ladies and gents, I hope you have enjoyed this series, and there's much more to come. Just to remind you that I've been talking to Cindy Jarrett, and we started off with what is conscious dating in series 1, and now we were talking about beliefs. And then for segment 2, series 3, we're going to be talking about self-love, clearing the heart for loving clearly, clearing the heart for loving clearly, or for loving clarity. Looking forward to that session with Cindy Jarrett. And Cindy, once again, just tell people where they can get hold of you.
Yeah. So you can get hold of me, just Cindy Jarrett on Facebook. And it's my Cindy Jarrett. There's a couple floating around in the world. And there's a wolfie in the center view. And then my website of designingaccess.biz. So
designingaccess.biz. Okay, fantastic. Well, see you same time, same place next time. And the next subject is going to be very important, because this whole thing of self-love, we talk about it, but it would be nice to actually understand what is self-love. So what does that look like? What's the process? So see you on the other side.
Thank you.